Hey, Dr. Berg here. In this video, we're going to talk about a big zinc mistake. Actually, I should put an S there, because there are 4 big mistakes. Why am I talking about zinc? Because without zinc, you would die. Zinc is so important for so many biochemical processes in your body because literally 200 to 300 different enzymes require zinc. Let's dive into the first mistake, and number 1 is taking too much zinc. In several videos, I recommend taking a lot of zinc, sometimes between 150 to even 200 milligrams. Zinc and copper work together. In fact, they compete with each other for absorption. When someone is taking too much zinc, they're actually depleting copper. There's a very simple solution: just take copper with your zinc. The zinc to copper ratio is about 10 to 1. So let's say you're taking 30 milligrams of zinc, you would take 3 milligrams of copper. There's also something interesting about this related to the immune system, a paradox. When you take a lot of zinc, it can help your immune system. When you take too much zinc, it can also harm your immune system. Some parts of your immune system benefit from a lot of zinc, but other parts benefit only from the right amount, not too much. If you have any kind of acute infection with inflammation, I would definitely recommend at least 100 to 150 to even 200 milligrams of zinc, but only for 3 days. It's only when you take high amounts for weeks and weeks, or months, that a part of your immune system could get suppressed. Whenever you get zinc from food, you don't need to worry about what I just talked about. I'm only referring to high-dose zinc supplementation. Let's move on to number 2. Not taking zinc with any cofactors. Cofactors are nutrients, vitamins, and minerals that allow our biochemistry to work properly. That's why when someone is deficient in zinc, they lose hair, they lose their sense of smell and taste, they can't produce testosterone anymore, they lose their sex drive, and their immune system no longer works. When it comes to zinc, there are certain important nutrients you need for zinc to really work. The first nutrient is magnesium. If you're deficient in magnesium, zinc won't work for you. This is another reason I'm against taking just one nutrient in high amounts for a long time. You want the associated nutrient so it works properly and doesn't cause problems. Another very important cofactor for zinc is vitamin B6. B6 activates magnesium for neurotransmitters that affect your mood. It's involved in the menstrual cycle, so if you're deficient in B6, you might have PMS. It's also connected to carpal tunnel syndrome. One of the treatments for carpal tunnel is vitamin B6. Why? Because it gets rid of fluid retention and inflammation. Also folate. Folate is involved in making red blood cells, producing DNA, and preventing inflammation in your arteries. You need some folate for zinc to work. Now let's move to number 3, not knowing when you're deficient. Yes, you can look at your nails and sometimes see those little white spots, which means you're deficient in zinc, but there's a much better way. It's called a zinc test. You can buy small bottles of liquid zinc, pour some into a spoon, put it in your mouth, and swish it around. Don't swallow it right away. What you're checking is whether you can taste it. It's a kind of metallic, sharp taste. If you're deficient in zinc, it won't taste like anything, it'll just taste like water. This raises the question, which foods are high in zinc and trace minerals? Many of these trace minerals are found in the sea, so seafood, shellfish, seaweed, all are high in zinc and trace minerals. When you get your zinc from shellfish, oysters, red meat, or liver, it's much better than plant-based sources of trace minerals. Number 4, taking too little zinc. This is just as bad as taking too much. When you eat grains, you get phytic acid, which blocks zinc absorption. That's one reason many kids are deficient in zinc. They eat a lot of grain-based cereals. Next is diarrhea. If you have diarrhea, you lose a lot of zinc because you're losing not only zinc but also sodium and other minerals. Having low stomach acid is very bad for mineral absorption. If your stomach acid isn't strong enough, you can't absorb minerals. We need stomach acid to break down protein, but also to absorb minerals. As we age, our stomach acid decreases. We can't digest protein well, and we can't get these important nutrients we need. Drinking alcohol depletes zinc. Pregnancy or taking birth control pills, having high estrogen, increases zinc requirements. That's why, for example, diabetics are almost always deficient in zinc because they have high blood sugar levels. Let's say someone is addicted to pornography, there's a big chance they'll become zinc deficient because semen contains a lot of zinc. The average person needs much more zinc because of all these other factors that increase the demand for this key trace mineral. To create a therapeutic effect, you need at least 30 to 40 milligrams per day. That's what I recommend, because so many things increase the demand for zinc. The more you exercise, the more zinc you need. The more muscle you have, the more zinc you need. Zinc is also needed for wound healing. That's why zinc carnosine is the best treatment for ulcers. Even diabetic ulcers can heal with zinc. Where should you get your zinc from? I think you should start eating foods high in zinc: red meat, shellfish, liver, oysters. There are many types of zinc supplements, but the one I prefer is an amino acid gelated form like zinc glycinate. You get better absorption. Should you take zinc with food or on an empty stomach? Ideally, take it with food, but you can also take it on an empty stomach and it will still work. I take mine on an empty stomach because I fast a lot, but if you take it with food, you'll get slightly better absorption. Now that you know the zinc mistakes, there are also some amazing additional benefits of zinc you may never have heard of. For that information, watch this video right here.